In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to write a Band 9 answer for a bar chart in IELTS Writing Task 1. You will learn how to find the main points to talk about and how to use advanced grammar and vocabulary to score high. If you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link in the description below. And now, let's get started. Bar charts are quite common in IELTS Writing Task 1, so it's important to know how to write a high-scoring answer for bar charts. Let's take a look at the task. This graph shows the average change in prices of bread and wheat in the United States by year. A negative change shows a decrease in prices. This chart is a bit different because it has negative numbers. As you can see, the 0 is not the bottom line. It's important to look at details like that before you start writing. Further, don't forget to read the short description of the chart. Some test takers skip this, but it occasionally gives very important information. This one mentions the negative numbers, so you can better understand what they mean. The prices are going down. That might be useful to mention in the text, so that you show you read the entire question. Additionally, the prompt tells you to select and report the main features. That's a very important thing to note. You are not describing every part of the chart. Instead, you must decide what is the most important feature and talk about that. The prompt also tells you to write over 150 words. If you write less, you will get points taken off. Before you write, you have to decide what you want to discuss. Take a closer look at the chart. You can note that, in general, the prices have a greater change in the later years, indicating that the prices are going up a lot. You can also see that bread has more change than wheat does. After deciding what to write about, start writing your answer. Here's the first sentence. This bar chart describes the average change in bread and wheat prices in the United States from 2016 to 2022. The first sentence is easy because I use the sentence starter "this bar chart describes." After that, I paraphrase the description of the chart in the question. You don't have to make huge changes, just enough to show that you understand the question and are not just copying every word. Here I changed prices of bread and wheat to bread and wheat prices. I also changed by year to from 2016 to 2022. This shows that I can combine information from the graph and the written explanation of it. Let's move on to the second sentence. There is a general trend of larger changes towards higher prices over time for both products. There is a general trend of is an amazing sentence starter to set up the idea. It really keeps the ideas organized well because I state my first point. I don't have to give details here, just explain the main idea, which is that there is a large change towards higher prices. I said for both products rather than for bread and wheat to vary my vocabulary. I try not to repeat the same phrase over and over because I want to show the IELTS examiner that I have a broad range of vocabulary. Let's move on to the next sentence. However, there is more fluctuation in the price of bread than in wheat. However is an awesome linking word that shows that the second point is different than the first point. I used fluctuation because it means change that is both up and down. It's a fantastic vocabulary word for this situation. Be careful though. Some people use lots of long words because they think it makes their writing better. That's not always true. First, it's better to have a range of words, some long and some short. That way, the writing is interesting to read. Second, many people use words they don't know well. They can misspell or use the words wrong. That can make the writing very hard to understand, and the IELTS examiner might not be able to tell what you want to say. It's better to use short words correctly than long words wrong. Now that I have described the general trends, I'm done with the introduction. I leave some space between this paragraph and the next paragraph. Remember that proper paragraph structure is just as important as the ideas you write. First, bread prices had a moderate negative change until 2018, after which prices increased each year, peaking in 2020 at 12% change. I decided to write about bread and wheat separately. That will make it easier to show the overall change in prices. Remember, you don't have to say every detail, just summarize the main trends. First is a great sentence starter because it keeps the ideas in order well. Moderate means some. As you can see, I chose 2 years that had the most important changes. It was negative until 2018, and after that it peaked or was highest in 2020. I don't need more information about bread. That's enough of a summary. By the way, if you want more IELTS writing sample answers, hit the like button and write yes in the comments. If you want something else, tell me your video wish in the comments so I know what you would like to see on this channel. Now we move on to talk about wheat. During the same period, wheat climbed to a high of a mere 4.5% change in 2019. The only negative change for wheat was in 2017, a difference of just minus 0.5%. During the same period is an awesome transition to show that I'm talking about the same dates. I don't have to repeat the numbers over again. Climb to a high of is a great expression which shows the IELTS examiner that you have a broad range of vocabulary. Remember, I'm trying to say that wheat has less change than bread, right? Can you find the words I use to do this? Yes, they're mere, only, and just. I'm making my point using all these little words, not just the long sentences. Really, 4.5 could be large depending on what you are comparing. For example, the highest percentage could be 4.7. I make it sound small by saying mere. I did 2 other things in this sentence that I want to talk about. One is a semicolon. A semicolon connects 2 related ideas that could stand on their own as sentences. A semicolon is not hard to use if you remember that, but it shows that you know a range of sentence structures and punctuation. Punctuation is also really important on the IELTS test. You will also see that I wrote minus 0.5%. Why is that special? Lots of people forget the 0 in front of the decimal point. I remembered both the negative sign and the 0. That shows I understand the proper way to write numbers in a text. Whole numbers under 10 are usually written out like 4. However, partial numbers are given like this. Paying attention to details will really boost your IELTS writing score. I want to make one more point in the body paragraph though. I talked about bread and I talked about wheat. Now I want to say that bread had more change. In addition, the largest difference in change between wheat and bread was over 11% in 2020, but bread had significantly higher percentages than wheat from that point onward. In addition is a great linking phrase to add one more point. Now I'm trying to emphasize a big change, so I used largest and significantly. I decided to use 2 different facts for this sentence. One is the year with the largest difference, 2020. I then used the but to join the second fact. It's a great way to add a slightly different detail without creating a new sentence. I'm stressing that bread continues to have more change in price, even though it isn't the largest difference after that point. That's enough detail about the chart. We can move on to the concluding sentence. Don't forget to leave some space to create a new paragraph. Looking at the chart, it is clear that overall, bread and wheat both increased in price after 2016, with more noticeable variations in the price of bread than in wheat. This sentence was actually really easy to write because I used a long sentence starter. Looking at the chart, it is clear that overall, all I had to do was summarize the first point, that both increased in price over the course of the chart. I used with to add the second point, that there were more noticeable or easier to see variations or changes for Brad. Don't forget to proofread your answer before you move on to the next IELTS writing task. It's essential to check for errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Additionally, look for repeated words and try to find ways to paraphrase them. Another thing you should check is whether the sentences have enough linking words joining the ideas. This answer has 163 words. That's not many, is it? However, it's over 150. Some people think that more words is a better answer. That's not true. The instructions ask you to summarize the information. So if you have written 300 to 400 words, that's way too many. Keep it short and clear. That's it. That's how to write a Band 9 answer for a bar chart question in IELTS Writing Task 1. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video.